Hi there and welcome along to November's edition of the England Golf Podcast with me, Ian McFarlane. The clocks have changed and Guy Fawkes night has been and gone, but there's still time to enjoy some winter golf and maybe even produce some on-course fireworks of your own. If you prefer to cosy up at the 19th hole or beside a roaring fire at home, then I hope you'll find something of interest in the podcast to while away the long November nights. It's not football deadline day, but in the best traditions of the transfer market, we've some breaking news. England Golf has signed up Tubes and Ange to work with us on 7 fun-packed episodes of their YouTube Golf Life series. We hear from the guys in the podcast about what lies in store over the coming months. We also chat to England men's squad member Callan Barrow about his time in the Manchester United Academy, beside Marcus Rashford among others, and how his sporting ambitions have changed from wearing the red of United to the red rose of England golf. Patience Rhodes from the England Girls squad was crowned English U18 Girls Champion and also won the Faldo Series during a successful 2021. I chatted with the Spanish-speaking, piano-playing, cricket-loving golfer who was inspired by big sister Mimi's exploits in the England setup and now loves beating her at her own game. Later on we'll hear from Mike Knight and Andy Wyman from Chester Golf Club about their club's ecological drive and how they've teamed up with Chester Zoo to do their bit for the natural world. And we also round up the news from in and around England golf, including how you can nominate your favourites for 10 categories in the England Golf Awards 2022. But first, let's hear from the new signings. Tubes and Ange have just obtained their first official WHS handicaps, and now the Dale brothers are ready to take to the fairways. You might know Tubes from his role with Sky's Soccer AM, and now him and brother Ange are sharing their love of golf with their YouTube followers. They don't take life or the game too seriously, and coming up are 7 new episodes of their YouTube programme in collaboration with England Golf. Strap yourselves in, it's going to be quite a ride, and last week I caught up with both of them at Woodall Spa, prior to them shooting the video of going head to head for the first time in match play with their new, shiny, official handicaps. Guys, welcome to England Golf. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. Can't wait. Great to be on board.
And you guys have just got your handicap.
We have.
Tell us about this journey you've been on.
Yeah, so we started the channel and everyone was like, I was just saying I'm 18, or then everyone was like, you're not 18. So I was like, all right, I'm 16. And then like quite a few of the guests were going, mate, what's your actual handicap? And I was like, well, I think I'm like, okay, no, I think I'm 16. So and Andrew's going, I think I'm 14, weren't you?
Well, we amended it every time we played a round.
Yeah.
So one round it was 18, and the next round it would have been 16, and yeah. So we needed to do it, especially having a YouTube golf channel.
Yeah.
it sort of helps to have a handicap.
So we did a little we did the 54 holes. We split them up into 6 9 holes, and everyone got right behind us. Like we were shocked at the amount of people and the amount of comments. You know, the people that watched it and stuff like that. So yeah, now we're using the app, and when I got my handicap of 15.2, was it 15.2 or 15.6?
I think it's 15.6, wasn't it?
15.6.
He's trying to cut his handicap already.
Yeah, but now using the app, I'm already down to 15. So, yeah. But when you got yours,
to be fair, I was 7.7, which I nearly fainted.
It was the funniest reaction ever. He was fuming. I mean,
but people in the comments were saying, "Why were you?" I wasn't fuming because everyone was like, "Why do you want it to be lower?" I was like, "No, of course I don't want it to be lower." I was like, I didn't see 7.7 coming. But I played a few rounds in it, a few scores in since then, and I'm now, when this goes out, it'll be 9.7.
Yeah, so Andrew's 9.7. I'm 15 on the nose, so I'm happy with that because I thought I'd be higher.
Yeah. So you guys are now fully subscribed to iGolf, which is great.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be working with England Golf over the next few months, putting together some episodes. Can you tell us what the plans are for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to do a grudge match today here at Woodall Spa.
Using
the app, and encouraging others to get involved because it is a fantastic app. And then we've got to speak to obviously Tony and Ben, but we're going to do some like educational pieces, like rules and stuff like that. Play with a few of the players who have come through the ranks here at England Golf. And do you know what? We're just buzzing.
For people who don't realise, Tubes and Ange Golf Life is the YouTube channel. I've described you as YouTube sensations. Is that fair enough? Are you happy with that?
Oh, I'll take it. I'll definitely take it.
Someone said the golf version of Ant and Deck, which I'll take as well. I don't think we lack as much talent as them, but yeah,
No,
I'll take it.
do you know what?
Is the bank balance, is it similar to Ant and Deck?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely not. But do you know what? It's been amazing, like how sort of quickly it's gone, and we love it. We proper love it, and I think people are on board with it because we're not golf pros. We just love the game. We just love the game of golf. Well, yeah, obviously 7
We're definitely not golf pros.
7.6.
I never will be, but we enjoy it, and that's the most important thing.
But yeah, it's if you've not seen the channel before, it's like you just have a laugh on a golf course and get guests on from the world of football, golf, films,
Cover
rugby.
quite a lot of bases, isn't we?
Yeah, anyone who likes golf, we have on the channel.
Anyone that plays golf will have.
Yeah, and we absolutely love doing it, and working with England Golf has made it even better.
That's the thing, because there's something like 650,000 golf club members in England, but there's probably another 2 million people out there who play golf regularly, like you guys.
Yeah.
And it's trying to draw them into the sport and get them to play more golf and
Growing
and
at a
have
rate of
fun
knots as well, isn't it? Golf's booming. I'm like, oh yeah, I love it.
Well, I just think it's seen like a bit more of a cooler game to play now. Do you know? I think the rules and this higher what people wear and stuff. I think it's a bit more relaxed, and so that's encouraging more people to get involved. And I think that's what we portray on the channel.
Yeah,
it's not that game that everyone thought it was years ago where you couldn't have a laugh. We're doing birdie dances and all sorts. When we sometimes get a birdie, but it's about getting out there. It's good for your mental health.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
fitness, mental health.
Fitness, mental health.
More people that play, the better.
Get out with your mates for 4.5 hours and have a laugh.
Yeah, it's good fun.
It's a wonderful game.
People know you from Soccer AM, Tubes, and all the daft things you do there, but what's the Sorry, that was me just boiling your career down into daft things that you do.
Yeah. Talentless, yeah.
And here I am now at England Golf, yeah.
Well, now you've reached the elevated status of working with England Golf, which I know is a career highlight for you.
Absolutely.
But how did you get into golf? Because obviously football is the kind of background, so where did the link with golf come from?
Yeah, so I always, for quite a few years, I sort of flirted with it. But I'm not going to lie, back in the day, like, I used to get to like...
You're a 9-0 man.
Yeah. Used to get to like 8.
Probably because of me, really. I started playing when I was about 15, 16.
Yeah.
And then, you sort of come along a few times, but you weren't interested. You couldn't maintain the enjoyment level for longer, for a couple of hours. But when you started playing better, and you can get you off the golf course.
But the real reason is why I turned, a lot of my focus to it was alcohol. When I admitted that I had a drink problem, I was like, right, when you're sober, you have so many more hours in the day. Because you're not hungover, you're not looking for your next drink, you're not getting in at 4 in the morning, if at all, going to bed. So I was like, what can I do to see, Big Ange and my friends, and which doesn't involve getting drunk down the pub, basically. And I was like, well, quite a few of my mates are into golf.
Yeah.
So, and I got into fitness as well, and I was like, I'm going to really try and give golf a go.
Yeah.
And I've literally fell in love with it. So now, back in the day, I think I struggled to get around 9. Now I could go and do 54. You know what I mean? I'm just absolutely buzzed off it. So that was about 5 years ago. I went, no, let's do that instead of going to the pub. And it's worked well because I'm sober. Over 5 years.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
Good.
The fact brothers as well, so I mean, there's a family aspect to playing golf and things, and
Yeah.
there's a rivalry to it, which you guys show in your videos. But how nice is it to play as as brothers and have that banter and wind each other up? And
I mean, I love it because there was, like you say, with back in your drinking days, there wasn't too many things we did as brothers apart from go to the pub. I mean, probably quite a lot of people in the country, but like you say, it's 4.5 hours. It's a long time for a round of golf, but when you're with someone, like your brother, it's perfect. It's perfect, and there's not many opportunities you get to spend 4 hours with someone, on a weekend. Is it apart from golf?
Yeah, I would say it's probably brought us closer together.
Yeah,
would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
We're always close. We've always been
always been
tight
good
as brothers. But do you know what I mean? 3 hours down the pub with me, he'd be like, I can't. Do you know what I mean? Whereas 4.5 hours we're together.
Yeah. And now we go on golfing trips with our mates and stuff, and it's
Do you know
the holidays are much more sort of golf focused now than going out on a bender for a week.
Going down Cavos, giving it
exactly,
giving it big licks.
Yeah.
So now it's a golf holiday. And
From Cavos to Woodall Spa.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. There's your title.
Yeah.
But no, and also we can discuss all sorts of life. We can all sorts like family life. We can talk about the progression of the channel and stuff like that. It's just a great place to do business and pleasure. The golf course.
The thing that's on your channel, it comes across loud and clear, is how much fun you have. You guys are larking about it, but it is good fun. But you touched on it there about the obsession with the game, and you obviously had addiction problems with alcohol, but you had heart problem as well, and trying to build back to fitness after that. Golf's helped you do that as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So when I admitted I had the problem with alcohol,
I'm portraying you a bit of an old crock here, aren't I?
Exactly. Drink problem, heart problem.
He's 78.
That's my new handicap. No, but it's like, so when it was literally came out of the blue that. So gave up all the alcohol, got fit, was playing golf all the time, going to the gym every day because I need the endorphins because I'm looking for that the high sort of thing. So anyway, decided to have a heart attack, a big hole in my heart, which is obviously wasn't great. It was just a bit like people were saying to me like, "Oh, is it now like the realization?" Like I was like, "No, that happened 3 years ago when I knocked booze on the head." So that was just a bit of a kick in the balls, if you like. But so I wasn't allowed to go straight back into the exercise straight away. It was quite funny actually when I walked in to see the consultant afterwards. He was like, "Right, sit down." I was like, "Well, he's going to say I can't play golf, I can't play the gym, football." He went, "Yeah, so basically, I hate to tell you, you can't go scuba diving." I looked at him and was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, that's the only thing you can't do." I was like, "Well, that's annoying because I was going to become a scuba diving instructor next week."
Get my open water course next week. But,
yeah, so obviously golf to get back into the fitness of walking up hills and stuff like that at the initial stages of coming out of the hospital was great for me. So,
I think it's good for everyone. It's a low impact cardio.
You lose
cardio
work.
It's healthy in the fresh air, isn't it? It's just you don't realise the exercise you're doing in the course of a round of golf.
And if you carry as well, apparently you lose quite a few calories. So
That depends how big you are. I'm probably burning 4 times the amount that you are.
Yeah.
It's quite hard work carrying this around.
Yeah.
But no, I mean everyone that's probably listening to this plays golf. But yeah, if you are listening, don't go and try it. It's the best game in the world, in my opinion.
And walk it. Don't get unless you're in a really, really hot country. Walk it. It's great. It's great
Walk,
to
got
walk
the ability to
talk.
walk, obviously. But yeah.
Good stuff. So where can we find all the shenanigans that you're going to get up to with England Golf in the next few months? England Golf YouTube channel, you guys YouTube channel?
Yes, it's going to go on Tubes and Ange,
Golf Life
YouTube channel.
in Google.
And I imagine there'll be quite a few bits on the website as well for England Golf. I'm not entirely sure the gaffer's over there. So Tony's given us a nod of approval. So yeah, there'll be stuff. We're going to put it on Instagram as well and stuff like that. So we're going to be documenting our journey, and can't wait to get started by me beating him in a grudge match.
Where's that gauntlet? Do you want to pick it up, Ange?
No, I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it. I'll let those words breathe.
A family at war. Guys, great to have you on board. Look forward to all the episodes over the next few months, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top.
Thank you so much for doing
So there you go, fun and games with the lads. Catch the first episode of Tubes and Ange's Golf Life with England Golf on their YouTube channel now, and find the link via the usual England Golf platforms. And if you're interested in picking up an iGolf subscription as an independent golfer, then head to www.englandigolf.co.uk for all the details. Now let's hear from England men's squad player Callan Barrow. The Lancastrian was snapped up by Man United aged 7 and then released at 15, but has bounced back to find a new sporting passion. Now a member at Royal Lytham and one of the game's most promising amateurs, the England international sat down with me at a recent squad photo shoot with Adidas to talk about his change of career path and hopes for the future. Callan, thanks for joining us, member of the England men's squad for 2022, but it could have been different. You could have been, instead of dreaming of playing an Open at St Andrews or Royal Birkdale or your home club at Royal Lytham, it could have been running out at Wembley and playing for England or playing in cup finals for Manchester United.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your background, because you were quite a talented footballer as a kid.
Yeah, started playing football pretty much as soon as I could walk. As my dad and granddad loved it. Pretty much kicked the ball when I could walk, and then started playing quite a lot for the local teams when I was a kid. And then got into the Manchester United Academy when I was 7 or 8.
Whoa, hang on a minute. Manchester United Academy. Most kids at 7 or 8 are playing with their pals in the street or local boys club, and you're pitching up at Carrington.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that worked. Must have just got this guide somehow. And then played there until I was about 14 or 15. With quite a few good players. Marcus Rashford, Axel Twanzebe. Half of them were amazing. You don't hear of them now, which is strange. But I was there till I was 15-ish. Then I went to Preston, which was a bit of a step down. The pitches were rubbish compared to playing on carpets. And the coaching staff didn't get on with them very well. So I sort of fell out of love with the game, really. And that's where golf took over.
But as a kid, you were dreaming of becoming a professional footballer.
Yeah.
And at points in your teenage life, that then flips.
Yeah.
And you focus your attention on golf. How did you deal with the rejection at Manchester United? Because when you leave a club like that, it's very difficult as a teenager to try and deal with that. I presume it was quite upsetting at the time. How did you manage to refocus your sporting life?
Obviously, it wasn't ideal at the time, but I mean that's just life, really. You don't get everything you want, do you? You just gotta get on with it, really. And that's just the sort of attitude I've had since then. It is what it is.
And when you went to Preston and it didn't work out there, did you quite quickly then transform into golf?
Yeah, I mean, straight from there, I didn't even try and go anywhere. I just started playing golf and then just went and played for like my local side once a week maybe. But that didn't last long either. I think I was just getting bored of running.
But you didn't pick up a club properly until you were 12 years old?
Yeah, 12, yeah. And then I started at St Ansell Links and then went to Lytham when I was 16. And that's where I started to try and develop myself, playing at that tough golf course.
At what point did you realise you were actually quite good at golf? Because as a kid you'd have been talking about football all the time. You mentioned, Marcus Rashford as a teammate, so you're hanging about in those environments. So when did the penny drop that you thought, actually I'm quite good at this golf lark?
I mean, depends on what you say good is, but I think I started playing. I think I got down to scratching when I was probably like 18, 17 maybe, and then I sort of just I've only really been playing that good golf in the past 3 years maybe, but it's been quite a lot of work leading up to that. So yeah, it's transition somehow. It's all been in the memory bank somewhere, just in the back of the mind.
Are there things that you can take from your football background into golf?
Yeah.
Because it's quite a tough sport, football, isn't it? It's one of these sports that, you have to be mentally strong to play, even from a very young age, because a club like Manchester United, you have to win all the time. Yeah,
there's a lot of travelling, 4 times a week to Manchester, which is quite long. You get rejected all the time in golf. You don't win every event you play, do you? Probably about a 0.2% chance you winning out of the year. So it's just the same, really. It's competitive. Everything we do at a high level is competitive, so it sort of just links in with that stuff.
When you made the transition then from football to golf, did you take it seriously for the first couple of years, or were you just playing with friends, or did you very quickly realise I'm quite good at this? I could branch out into this as a career?
Yeah, it wasn't that serious when I started playing, like 15, 16, but then sort of a couple of years down the line and it got a bit serious somehow.
So who took you under their wing to develop your golf game? Was it friends and family? Was it somebody at St Anne's Old or Royal Lytham, where you're now a member?
Probably just my dad just getting me out of the house playing all the time, and then started seeing my coach when I was 18. And then he's took me to the next level, which is what I needed.
That next level that you talk about is quite significant. So you're a member of the England men's squad.
Yeah.
You won the Scottish Open Amateur Stroke Play at Southern S early in 2021. It's quite an achievement. When you look back on that Scottish Open win, how do you regard that?
Yeah, it was just a good week. I mean, it all fell into place really. I struggled a bit on some of the front nines, but I think my back nine score was probably 2 times as good as my front nine score, which helped bring it home, to be fair. Yeah, it's just a good week all in all, especially when it's sunny in Scotland.
And that doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't.
You had to dig deep in that final round as well, because you were leading by quite a bit at the start of the day, and even get into the early in the round. But by the back nine, it was getting a little bit tight. But did you maybe prove something to yourself on that back nine?
I just gave myself a bit of a telling off after about 8 holes, and then I think I came home in 4 under maybe, with a couple of twos, which helped. And then when you're making birdie, it's hard for the opposition to sort of compete with it really. But it somehow went my way.
The year prior to you winning the Scottish, you were in the final of the English men's amateur at Woodall Spa against Jack Cope, who's now in the men's squad as well. Were you happy just to get to the final, or was the competitor in you really annoyed the fact that you didn't win it? Because you played good golf and still lost.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really expect much. It was the first event after lockdown, first event back. But once you're playing like good golf, you expect something of yourself, and you want to win. You don't want to just get to the final. And it's a good achievement still, but you want to definitely win.
Because casting my mind back to the first round on the Hodgkin in the final against Jack, I think you were 2 under par and 5 down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough school, isn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't ideal for me, but it was some very good golf being played.
When you reflect on that week at the English Amateur, did it teach you a lot? Because it's the first time you were really contending in a big amateur event, and you got all the way to the final.
Yeah, it definitely taught me that I'm definitely good enough to be and compete with the best amateurs. So it gave me a lot of confidence, and so I just built up through the year and then into this year.
Did you need that, do you think? Because you see, you didn't automatically come from a golfing background, so is there maybe a lack of confidence, a lack of belief beneath the surface?
I wasn't really doing much in 2019, and then that 2020 year sort of really pushed me up the ladder a bit, and then just keep going from there.
You've been working on your game a lot the past year. Obviously, the season started well with a win in Scotland at Southern S. Maybe your form dipped a little bit over the summer, and you've been working on a lot of things. Can you just talk about that process and how difficult that is?
Yeah, from playing, I mean, from the start of 2020 to end of June 2021, I couldn't fault my game, which was ideal. But second half of this season, I've struggled quite a lot. But sort of a bit of a reality check, and something just to keep me working harder, a bit more motivation. So I've been working pretty hard the past couple of months. It's getting in a better place, which is ideal.
When you say reality check, were you becoming complacent? Did you just think...
Yeah, I think everything was just going quite well for me. So I think I needed a bit of a kick up the bum a bit, which helped.
You're part of the men's home international squad as well that went down to Hankley-Common, and it didn't work out for the team that week. How do you reflect on experiences like that? Because it's not only the good ones that shape a career, it's also the bad ones.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of bad stuff that happens in golf, but it's a very good week, to be fair. Good team week. I like playing team events. It's good to have good fun with all the lads after the rounds, but everyone wants to win. Unfortunately, we didn't perform very well, but we will next year.
What's your ambitions for 2022, Callan? Do you set yourself goals?
Yeah.
And if so, can you share them with us?
Yeah, my goals are to get into the top 50 on the Wagger system, win another international event, and I think just improving on and off the course, really. That's about it.
In terms of your future, where do you see yourself in 2 or 3 years' time? What's your ultimate ambition in the game?
Make it onto the tour. That's the ultimate one, isn't it, for everyone? European tour. It's the dream, really, isn't it? for everyone really. But could be in 2 years, could be in 15, 20 years. You never know. Golf's a funny game.
Do you think you'll rival Marcus Rashford for headlines one day?
Maybe not as Prime Minister.
Not fancy Prime Minister.
No, I don't think I could hack that one. Can't feed enough kids.
He's done well though. Do you keep in touch with any of the Manchester United
No,
guys, or
not
is
really.
that part of the past that's been and gone now?
Yeah, it's been quite many years, so I think everyone's just sort of died off.
But you're playing golf, mentioned earlier, Royal Leatherman St Anne's. It's a magnificent golf course to call home.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
When you walk around there and the history is all over the walls in the clubhouse, is that something that inspires you?
It's sort of like normal now, but when I first joined, it was pretty good. But to represent that golf club and to get a good name for it, which is good for them and good for me, so I think it's a real honour to be a part of the club.
Good stuff. Callan, we're glad you gave up football and turned to golf. And best of luck for 2022.
Thanks.
Okay, time to head over to the England Girls squad now, where 2021 has been an amazing year for Patience Rhodes. The Somerset golfer was winner of the English Girls U18 title in the summer, and followed this up earlier this month with victory in the Faldo Series. A member of the triumphant boys and girls squad that won the home internationals in August, the Burnham and Barrow golfer has a bright future. I sat down with Patience to hear about all her wins, matching big sister Mimi's achievement in the amateur ranks, and her hopes for the coming year. Patience, thanks for joining us. Just looking back at 2021, it was an amazing year for you, a couple of big wins in there. How do you reflect on the past season?
It's been really good. I've achieved my goals. Winning the English Girls obviously was amazing to have that win. So yeah, I'm really happy overall.
You mentioned there the English Girls, which was a huge victory for you, your first national title. What did that mean to you when you became the English Girls Under-18 champion? Yeah,
it meant the world. It was just such a great victory to have, and especially having all my teammates there. All their support was great. So yeah, I was happy, really happy.
Going to mention that because it did look as if you were having the time of your life. I know there was a little bit of pressure on the final day, but the celebrations were special. All your England colleagues drowning you with water at the end,
great.
Which was nice because it was a hot day.
Yeah.
Are these kind of fond memories that you'll hold with you for a long time?
Yeah, for sure.
It's good having their support, isn't it? Because I know the rivals as well. They're trying to win that title, but it's good having them beside you in special moments like that.
We're obviously really competitive against each other, but when the other person wins an event, we're also really happy for them.
Now, I mentioned you were under a little bit of pressure on the back nine. Did you look at scoreboards? Were you aware of what was happening? Because you needed 2 birdies in your last 5 holes to win by 1.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't check the scoreboard until the last hole after I hit my second shot on the par 5, and I basically stuck it behind this massive oak tree. And that's when I saw I was 1 shot ahead. So I basically just had to roll this chip under the tree, bounce it on a bank and just roll it up and 2-putt. So it's obviously quite a lot of pressure. But I managed it in the end, so it was okay.
Yeah, well done. Now, I think it's fair to say that you've come a long way since you picked up a golf club, and I understand it was your grandma that got you into the game. Can you just talk a little bit about her influence on you and how she helped you get to the position you're in now?
Yeah, I mean, she was a mad golfer. She drove us everywhere. She loved the sport, so I think that really influenced us. And obviously us living in Spain, it's a really big sport over there, and lots of children play, so it's just a nice, to have other people there that you can play with. It's just a nice sport, and you can compete against your friends. So yeah, it was a nice way to start golfing.
And she was quite competitive, wasn't she? And a very good golfer as well.
Yeah.
So that obviously inspired you. I have to mention as well that your big sister Mimi, who been part of the girls setup and now the women's setup at England Golf, did she help spur you on as well? Having somebody who was obviously so good as she was at the competitive end of the game, did that make you, as the younger sister, kind of look and say, I want a bit of that for myself?
Yeah, so she's my biggest role model probably. I used to always want to beat her, and obviously, like now I've won the English Girls and just rubbing that in her face, but she's quite jealous about that. But yeah, I just love the competitiveness with my sister. Like every time we go back to Spain, we play against each other, and it's just nice to have a sibling that you can play against at such a high level.
So every time you pick up the phone to her, it's hi, it's Patience, the English Girls Champion. Is that how you start every conversation?
Yeah, exactly.
Quite right too. Did you start the game at the same time, or was she always that couple of years ahead of you and you were kind of playing catch up?
Yeah, I think she started about a year before me, and I used to just walk around the course with her and watch her play and just get really annoyed because I wanted to play as well. So then I started playing. But yeah, pretty much at the same time, yeah.
Can you remember when you first beat her?
I think it was about a year ago in summer in Spain. I played some Spanish events. I won them, and I think she came like 5th. So she was really annoyed, but yeah.
I'm sure deep down she was very proud of you. Maybe not at the time, but I'm sure as time went on she
probably
was.
Like a couple of weeks later she was proud.
Yeah, good. Now, it's very easy to get obsessed with golf, and we all are when we're playing it. But you know, there's more strings to your bow. You played other sports, and you still play other sports, and you play the piano as well. You're quite an accomplished pianist. Is that still something that you get involved in, or has that kind of slipped a little bit because of your dedication to golf?
Yeah, I mean, I think golf is such a time-consuming sport, and you have to put so much practice into it that almost like all the other hobbies are kind of like pushed out the way. That's why, I mean, I still play the piano a bit. I love to play the piano, but I got to grade 7 and then I didn't have the time to get my grade 8. So that was really upsetting. But yeah, I'd hope to like take it up again in the future.
You can entertain the teammates. Is there a piano at the team hotel? Can you lead the?
If there was, then yeah, of course.
Sounds like good fun. Was there ever a point? You're very young, of course, still, but ever a point where you had a decision to make between music and golf, or one of the other sports that you played? I think cricket is a sport that you're very keen on as well.
Yeah, my dad really liked me to play cricket. I really liked cricket, but I think my heart's just set on golf, so there wasn't really much doubt.
Well, I think you've made the right choice. Now you did mention earlier that you live part of the year in Spain, although perhaps the last 2 years it's been a little bit more difficult to jump between England and Spain. But that must be a real benefit to you, especially over these winter months where practice facilities in England are perhaps not the greatest because of the weather, and you can be out in Spain enjoying the sunshine. Do you feel that gives you a little edge perhaps over others? Yeah,
it's a completely different atmosphere. So obviously I go out there and then it's like warm weather training really. And then I obviously have Spanish friend golfers and just play with them, and different courses, greens, fairways, like it's just completely different. You can learn loads of different shots. So I think it's really good, great benefit for me.
And you're fluent in Spanish as well. Do you fancy giving us an example of that?
A bit of Spanish. Hola, me llamo Patience. I don't know what else to say.
No, that's quite good. It's better than I could contribute.
It's just the basics.
The one thing I noticed about you playing this year, and I don't know the reason behind it, which is why I'm asking the question, is that I notice you don't wear a glove when you play. Is there a scientific reason behind this, or is it just something that you do?
It's just the feel. Like I hate wearing a glove. I just tape my fingers because obviously I get loads of like injuries on my fingers. But I just don't like wearing a glove. It doesn't feel the same.
Well, it served you well so far, so there's no need to change now. I mentioned earlier that the kind of competitiveness in the girls squad. I know you're great friends with Lottie and Maggie and Rachel and all the rest. What's it like when you've actually got to go head to head with them? Because I remember watching you and Lottie play each other in the singles at the women's county finals on the final day, and it pretty much came down to the last couple of games on the course, including yours. So what's that like when you're playing against somebody who's a mate, but you really have to try and beat them for the sake of the team?
Yeah, it's obviously really awkward because you're part of the England squad, so you're a team. I was obviously a teammate to Lottie, but in that particular situation, I was in a team with Somerset, so it was really awkward. But we just had to get out there and like beat each other. It's just part of the game.
It was fairly friendly and chatty at the beginning. By the time you got to the 15th and the 16th, it was a little bit more
tense. Yeah, yeah, it definitely got a bit tense.
Yeah, not much chat at that point, but handshakes and hugs on 18, so all's well that ends well. In terms of 2022, 2021's almost over. 2022, lots of things on the horizon. What's your ambitions for the new year?
What, like training wise or competitions?
Yeah, training. Any personal goals you have or championships you want to play in particular?
My biggest goal right now is to get in the gym more, gain some muscle, like strength, try and hit it further, because that's my main weakness right now. So once I've kind of achieved that, then obviously competitions, I'd like to defend my title, English Girls, British Girls, all of those big competitions, just try and come top 10 or win would be amazing. Yeah. Something
else that you can annoy Mimi with when you win another big title.
Yeah, exactly.
Although she might win another big one in between times, so the rivalry will keep going.
Yeah, of course.
Well, anyway, listen, brilliant for 2021. Very well done. Great success. You also had success in the Faldo Series that we should mention as well. So it wasn't just the English Girls. You had a particularly successful 2021. So well done for that. Thanks for chatting today, and good luck for 2022. Always good to chat with Patience, and look out for another big year from her in 2022. Now it's time for a quick spin around the England Golf newsroom. Rosie B. Kim claimed her second major title of the year when she was crowned the R&A's Under-16 Girls Champion, and added that honour to the English Girls Under-14 title she won earlier in the season. The Buckinghamshire golfer finished with a birdie to win the championship held at Enville Golf Club by a single shot from Woburn's Roisin Scanlon. England Golf has named the men's squad for 2022, featuring an exciting blend of emerging talents and players with existing international experience. 12 home-based players will make up the squad, with 5 newcomers to the ranks. Zach Chigwidden, John Goff, Jack Bigham, Mason Essen and Ben Quinney are named in the squad for the first time. They are joined by seasoned campaigners Sam Bairstow, Jack Brooks, Callan Barrow, Jack Cope, Aaron Edwards-Hill, Ollie Huggins and Joe Harvey. In addition to the 12 players based in England, England Golf will continue to support a number of players currently at college in America, where they are completing their studies. Team events in 2022 include the European Team Championships at Royal St George's, the Home Internationals and the World Amateur Team Championships in France. Now some sad news. Former England Golf press officer David Hamilton has passed away, aged 83. David was a respected journalist who served the English Golf Union and then England Golf with distinction from 2001 until his retirement in 2013. Our thoughts are with his friends and family at this time. Now looking ahead to 2022, and the England Golf Awards are back. Nominations are also now open. There are 10 categories open for public nomination with a closing date of December 19. To find out more about the virtual awards ceremony and how to nominate individuals, clubs or counties for recognition, I spoke to Tony Zverbelis, Participation and Development Campaigns Manager at England Golf.
It's great to have the awards back. They're back with a bang, and it's going to happen on the 20th of April, and they'll be virtual again. Nominations are now open for all the categories, so we're really recommending everybody put forward all the unsung heroes from the club and the amateur game, and let's kind of reward them for their amazing success over the last year. There are 2 new award categories this year. They are Women and Girls Trailblazer and Diversity and Inclusion Champion. We've introduced them because we wanted to reflect the positive changes at the club and amateur game. But we've still got everyone's good old favourites. We've got the Club of the Year, Volunteer of the Year and Young Ambassador, as well as the highly recognised the Lifetime Service Award. We really want everyone to get involved. It's really easy to put forward a nomination if you go to the englandgolfawards.org website, and you can start your nomination now.
Now, it remains to be seen what the outcome of the COP26 summit in Glasgow will be for the planet, but golfers and golf clubs can most certainly play their part in shaping a better future by helping the game go green. Sustainability is now a key part of any golf club's long-term planning, and there's no reason why golfers and nature can't happily coexist in a countryside environment with a little bit of vision and effort. In 2021, Chester Golf Club was shortlisted for the Sustainability Project of the Year award at the England Golf Awards. In the end, they were pipped to top spot by Whitsand Bay Golf Club, but that doesn't diminish the achievements of Chester, and we can all become more aware of the environment we live in. It's good to find out what golf can do in this drive to avert a global crisis. I'm pleased to say that Chester's course manager Andy Wyman and chair of the course Mike Knight join me now. Gents, thanks for your time, and Andy, if I can start with you, can you just tell us a little bit about Chester Golf Club and its setting?
Yep, so Chester Golf Club is a park-turned course built on heavy Cheshire clay. We consist of 2 layers, so we've got kind of 7-8 holes on the top, the rest down the bottom, which gives us all kinds of glorious problems come winter. We run alongside the River Dee, so the bottom tier across the whole bottom level there's only an 8-inch fall to the Dee. So as you can imagine, when the Dee rises, we need a lot of water sources to be able to take the capability of how much deluges we're going to get nowadays. The golf course itself, we're kind of a stone's throw from Chester Racecourse, from the heartbeat of Chester City Centre. One of the founder members of Chester. So it's all about trying to promote and drive the club forward now. We've had a complete change, so I've come in as course manager. The club's gone in a completely different direction to ever before, really, because as everyone's aware, more and more products getting banned, so we need to do more for the environment, for the golf course as a whole. And this starts from inside the club to right outside, driving younger members through more sustainable approach. Likes of recycling right the way through to our department, down at the sheds.
Now, Mike, the golf club has been in existence since 1901, and just as Andy's saying there, because it's based near a river, and that brings obvious problems, and with climate change and all these things, and rising tides and rising river levels, it poses even more of a threat in the future. But I was interested, as part of your submission for the England Golf Awards last year, there was a number of environmental things that the club were looking at and undertaking. Can you just give us a flavour of some of the things that have happened at the club in recent years?
Well, since Andy's been with the club, he's brought the modern day greenkeeping. And if you look at where we are right now, the new legislation means fungicides. We have to treat fungicides differently, the disease. Things have changed in the last 5 years quite a bit. And Andy's he's a young man, he's brought a wealth of knowledge along, and he's instantly put the new ideas in. We're looking at a programme coming up that will go right the way through to spring, and where we're going to be taking out clearing a couple of banks that have completely become overgrown with self-seeders, bushes, shrubs, clean it all out, let the natural light through to the greens, make them a lot healthier. We're doing the same around the areas of the tees. Since Andy's been here, I think you're going to touch on Chester Zoo, but since Andy's been here, what he's done, any results we've had in terms of branches, logs, etc., he's been building bug houses. And it's all new. It's completely new to Chester. We've never seen anything like this. And again, it's new ideas. I know that in the future, he wants to think about honey, bee honey, etc. But that's something for the future. So we really are going in the right direction under Andy's direction. So it's good news. Good for the members.
The golf courses are some of the most stunning settings anywhere in the country, and just if anyone hasn't seen it already, I would recommend we go to your golf club website and look at the flyover video of the course, because it really is stunning, as you say, with the River Dee winding round it, Chester Racecourse in the background, and thousands of trees, which I'm sure some of the members want chopped down because they keep sticking the ball behind them. But it is a stunning location, and as I mentioned as part of your submission last year, there's a lot of things going on in terms of trying to reintroduce wildlife and natural flora to the course, and sort of bug hotels, I think, was mentioned as part of the submission as well. Can you talk a little bit about that, Andy?
Yeah, so back in 2020, the very start of the year, when I came from the interview, part of the process when doing my course walks in preparation, everything looks similar. There's no distinctive areas for wildlife. We haven't got many natural colours. So part of the wildflower areas were to increase more wildlife activity, birds, insects, bees, as well as make it more pleasing for golfers to see some colour. Because when the trees are in bloom and they're full of leaves, they're all green. So there's really not much change. So you want to define different holes as well. So by doing it for the golf and doing it for the environment works there. And with the bug houses as well, coincide with these areas, we're giving them habitats to live in. We've done some serious work on our ninth pond last winter, where we dredged it all out, rebanked it. With that bank, we've actually built a bug hotel into the bank, so the crested newts and the newts come winter can hibernate in the bug house. Since then we've seen dragonflies return to the pond. More hens are there now living. We've got plenty of wildlife in and around the pond, which is good to see. And we're looking now for this winter to install a water fountain to aerate the pond, keep that wildlife going and stop any algae coming on. And again, visually for the golfers, it just finishes off that project that we've done.
Now, Mike, you touched on it earlier, and I'm intrigued by this, the link with Chester Zoo. I'm pretty sure you don't have giraffes or elephants roaming the fairways, but I'm sure the members would definitely complain about that, and Andy too. But can you just explain a little bit about the link with Chester Zoo and how that's been beneficial for you at the golf club?
Well, one of the things, when Andy arrived, Andy arrived in March 20, I took over this role in June 20, and I think we get on really well, we have an understanding, and Andy said to me, it would have been probably 2019, maybe the back end of, and he said, we've got Chester Zoo on the doorstep, we should have some sort of relationship with them, and we've also got quite a few members, because of our closeness to Chester Zoo and people living in the area. We've got members that have worked at Chester Zoo. It's a charity organisation, as you know. So Andy made contact. We both spoke to the manager who runs the forestry park. They have their own plantations, but in COVID and all the wet weather that we've had, it's been very difficult for them, so they've had to go outside. The fact that we're close is great for them. So our relationship, we've got Peter now, I think was the manager at the time, wasn't he? Yeah. And we took him down onto the course. He explained what he could and couldn't do. And to be fair, it's a breath of fresh air, because for us, it saves us money. There's no doubt about that. It saves us money. And it's a big thing for Chester to do. They want it fresh. They want to be able to cut it and take it away. It was interesting for me because I just looked at it at trees with leaves, and that's what you need for animals. But it's bigger than that. They want the bark for the rhinos, and it really is quite interesting. So it's working well. Another thing we've recently done is we've got 2 guys with transfer licenses, which means we can do some of our own smaller work. The Chester Zoo said to us, because a lot of the labour involved in collecting branches. So Chester Zoo said, look, you let us know you cut some stuff down and we'll come and collect it. It's a major benefit for us.
I'm sure there's many golf clubs up and down the country who'll be listening to this who are doing similar projects. Here at England Golf, we'd love to hear about them, so you can get in touch with us. But gents, thanks for your time today. As well as birdies and eagles, there's clearly other wildlife that's going to thrive at Chester Golf Club in the future. Some bees and dragonflies and butterflies and everything else. So good to hear. And can I just thanks again for joining me, and good luck for the future. Okay, thanks to Andy and Mike there, and to my other guests on this month's podcast. Good luck to Tubes and Ange with their England golf venture. Remember, you can find their videos on YouTube. Just search for Tubes and Ange Golf Life, and you can also find it on the England Golf channel. Also, a big shout out to Callan Barrow and Patience Rhodes for breaking into their schedule to chat to me, and to Tony's Verbless for filling us in with details of the England Golf Awards 2022. Nominations are open now, so get to it. Remember, you can find details of this and all other England Golf related news on our website, that's www.englandgolf.org, and on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn. Until next time, our Christmas special, take care and enjoy your golf. Bye for now.